Where were you on 9/11?
Radio check.
Where were you on 9/11?
I was at home. My kids were getting ready for school. I lived in just outside of Chicago, so a little different time zone from where the accident happened. So I was earlier in the morning, and that's one of the questions that another generation would have asked themselves: where were you when President Kennedy was assassinated? That a lot of people then would ask, where were you when you heard that the towers went down? It's just something that's burned into your mind.
Mm-hmm. What was your immediate reaction like?
I think nobody at first recognized it as a terrorist attack.
Mm-hmm.
This was an accident, something crazy happened, it didn't compute as a terrorist attack, but when the second one hit, everybody knew what it was.
Yeah.
And then other reports were coming in, so told my kids they could stay home from school and watch it.
Yeah. What did 9/11 fallout look like in their schools, at your work?
What did it look like?
Yeah.
Just everybody, at first there was just initial shock.
Mm-hmm.
I think ultimately there was a sense of unity in this country that, unfortunately there was unity in hate, but there was also unity in sympathy and compassion for the families of the people that died in the airplanes, that died in the towers,
Mm-hmm.
just the tremendous loss of life and what that meant for the families. So I think that after the initial reaction of horror, there was a sense of unity in this country that we really haven't seen since.
Yeah. How long did it take for things to get back to normal, like school normal, work normal?
As a firefighter for 30 years, it affected us in many ways for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I think the political climate got pretty strong after
Mm-hmm.
that, and as we went to war, but so the country didn't return to normal for quite a while either.
Is it weird having students who weren't alive during the attacks?
Yeah, because there's just so much nuance and history, especially when you look at not just the people that died directly as a result of the impact, but the hundreds of firefighters that died subsequent to that, that were at the job site
Mm-hmm.
working, all the contractors that were at the job site working. I've got an estimate that said that they believe up to 10,000 people around that site ended up with rare forms of cancer, obviously attributable to the tower crash.
Yeah.
And so it's been horrible.
Mm-hmm. How are you marking the anniversary? Are you doing anything?
In the past, they did things like being close to Chicago, we climbed the Aon Tower, which was hundreds of stories, over 100 stories tall, and they would have 343 people climb the tower on the anniversary in remembrance of the 343 firefighters that died.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one way that we did it. Another year at Soldier Field, where the Chicago Bears play, on the 10th anniversary, I was privileged to be one of the people chosen to hold a flag the size of the football field in a ceremony to honor that commemorate that day. This year, there's not a lot of, there might be more people now that it's 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
but I'll probably spend time alone, I think.
Yeah. Did 9/11 change the way you thought of your job? Like the way you thought of being a firefighter?
No, it made it, most of the people that, almost all the people that choose to be firefighters want to give and are people of action,
Mm-hmm.
and that never stopped.
Yeah.
But there's a sense of pride, that everybody that was climbing that tower knew they were going to die.
Mm-hmm.
They knew it, and they did it. So.
Has your perspective changed after 20 years?
The incredible mounting deaths of firefighters, hundreds died
Mm-hmm.
after the 343, and the government pretty much stalled at helping. these firefighters and their families with their cancer treatment and money for the families. So there's been some bitterness from that, but there was a lot of really good things that came out of it. Contract negotiations for firefighters across the country improved greatly. Pension reform which was badly needed, was addressed. And so many good things came out of this because of an increased public sympathy for firefighters, so that was good.
So that's all my questions. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
Yeah, I had some notes. Let me see. You know, some of the things that were done by firefighters directly to help the New York City firefighters. You know, the New York City firefighters, out of a sense of honor, wouldn't allow any other firefighters to the site, the crash site, but they would only, they were to be the only ones to remove their brothers and sisters from the site. So we couldn't go to help, but a lot of people from my department went and attended funerals. That was a big part of it. Different firefighters came in and manned the stations because they couldn't be there to take care of the stations. Either all the personnel were dead or at the job site working. So people came and worked the different job sites. The New York City Fire Department lost a lot of rigs, a lot of pumpers and trucks. And so a lot of money was raised, and new vehicles, new apparatus were purchased and then driven to the city and given to them. That was something that we did that was positive. A personal friend of mine found a pumper that had been destroyed in the collapse, and he was a welder fabricator. He cut off the front end, and so you can see the dash on the front end of the vehicle, and he turned it into a beautiful, beautiful bar. It was amazing. And he drove it out to New York and to the city and to that station that had lost that vehicle and gave it to those firefighters at that station. They loved that. A lot of people get tattoos with the 343 incorporated into the tattoos. A lot of firefighters did that. And you know, it had an effect in other countries too. When I went down to Chile, they had a fire station there named Bomba Nueva Yorca for firefighters, and it was a station in honor of the firefighters that died. So it had an effect worldwide for firefighters.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for doing this.
You bet.
It's been really helpful.